Hey, Jake with B&H, and today I have two new RF lenses from Canon. First, we have an exciting RF 50mm f1.8, otherwise known as the Nifty 50. Plus, we have Canon's smallest and lightest interchangeable zoom lens, the RF 7200 f4, both designed to be used with Canon's mirrorless camera system. But let's start with the Nifty 50. This is a very fast and compact prime lens that fits snugly between the RF 85 f1.8 and the RF 35mm f1.8, really rounding out a trio of affordable fast primes. It features a bright f1.8 aperture that's perfect for low light photography and creative background blur. It uses a stepping motor, or STM, for fast and accurate autofocus. I can attest the autofocus was very smooth and precise and barely audible, which is great if you need to shoot video. There is no optical image stabilization in the lens, but if you use the Canon R5 or R6, like I did, then you can get up to 7 stops of image stabilization. The minimum focusing distance is 0.3 meters, which is actually closer than the original EF 50mm f1.8. Speaking of, the RF 50mm is about the same size as the original. They both weigh 160 grams, and the RF measures 69.2 millimeters by 40.5 millimeters. Following the tradition of RF lenses, this does have a control ring on the front. It's actually pulling double duty. It can function as your focus ring or your control ring, allowing you to assign it to control ISO, aperture, color balance, and many other functions. I love the Nifty 50 in film school. This lens brought me right back to those days. It's a fantastic lens that looks great and is very affordable. Okay, next we have Canon's smallest and lightest interchangeable zoom lens, the RF 7200 f4L IS USM. Just to give you an idea, the original EF version weighed 789 grams, while this new RF weighs only 695 grams. This new RF lens barrel only measures 119 millimeters, which is 32% shorter than the original that measured 176 millimeters. It's a dramatic difference, one that my arms certainly noticed. It was such a joy to shoot with, I didn't want to put it down. This lens features a bright and constant f4 aperture throughout the zoom range for incredible image quality. It does have optical image stabilization, which will help to compensate for up to 5 stops of camera shake. But if you use it with either the Canon R5 or R6, like we did, then you'll get a coordinated stabilization of up to 7.5 stops of camera shake. It also features dual nano USM for incredible high-speed autofocus that is smooth and very, very quiet, which is great for shooting video. Speaking of video, this lens features minimal focus breathing when pulling focus from foreground to background, making it a very versatile lens for photo and video shooters. The autofocus was just unreal. Very fast and precise. I loved it. The minimum focusing distance has been almost halved when compared to the original EF 7200 f4. You can now focus up to 0.6 meters on the RF, while the EF was focusing up to 1 meter. Being that it's an RF lens, it does have the control ring that you can customize for controlling anything that you want to assign to it. I stuck with ISO and left it there, but there are a variety of functions that you can assign to it. It features a 9-blade aperture for beautiful bokeh and has 4 ultra-low dispersion elements to control chromatic aberrations, as well as air sphere coating for better transmission of light. It is indeed an L series lens, as you can tell by the red ring aesthetic, which means it is dust and weather resistant. All in all, a fantastic lens that provided me with some gorgeous portrait photography. It was an absolute delight to shoot with and just so lightweight. I cannot emphasize enough how lightweight this lens is. All right, so that's gonna do it for the new Canon RF lenses. I got the 50mm f1.8, otherwise known as the new Nifty 50, and the 7200 f4, both fantastic lenses for the new Canon R mirrorless cameras. But I wanna know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. I'm Jake with B&H. Just keep rolling.